These are not stories, not fiction, not urban legends. These are real experiences from real people who drove through Canada's dark, frozen highways and witnessed something that changed their lives forever. 4 truck drivers, 4 nights, 4 terrifying truths. And tonight, you're going to hear all of them. Cooper, Axel, Luca, Thomas. 4 experienced Canadian truck drivers, thousands of kilometers of icy roads driven alone. Canada's dark nights were nothing new to them. Bone-chilling cold and endless darkness were old companions. But then came a night none of them wanted to talk about, because no one would believe them. And staying silent meant carrying that weight alone. Cooper was driving along a long stretch of highway in Ontario, almost 2 a.m., empty road, nothing on either side but pine trees and thick fog. He says, "I've driven this road 100 times, but that night was different." Then his headlights caught something, right in the middle of the road, still, not moving. Cooper hit the brakes. The truck stopped. What stood in the light looked like a person, but it wasn't. Way too tall, arms unnaturally long, and in the freezing Canadian air, no breath coming from its mouth, no fog, no warmth. Then it slowly turned its head and looked directly at Cooper. No eyes, just 2 hollow black holes. Cooper tried to reverse. Engine wouldn't start. He kept trying. Outside it was -20, and that thing slowly moving toward the truck, walking through the snow but leaving no footprints. Then right when it reached the front of the truck, the engine fired up. Cooper floored it. He never looked back, not once. Cooper pulled into the next town and walked straight into a Tim Hortons, ordered a coffee, hands still shaking. He says, "After that night, I never drove that Ontario highway past 2 a.m. again. If someone had asked me what I saw, I couldn't have answered, because it had no name. Some things can't be explained, they can only be felt." Axel's story is different. He wasn't alone. He had his radio, and what he heard through that radio has haunted him every single day since. He was driving a mountain highway in British Columbia, 3 a.m., steep cliffs on one side, a deep drop on the other. He turned on the radio. Every channel just static, except one. One channel was picking up something. He turned up the volume. A girl's voice, crying, repeating the same thing over and over. "Please stop the truck. Please stop. I'm right behind you." Axel looked back. Nobody there. The dark mountain road was completely empty. He figured maybe an emergency frequency, but the voice wouldn't stop. And then the voice said Axel's name, directly, clearly. "Axel, please stop." Tension at its peak. Did Axel stop the truck? No. He pushed the gas harder, turned off the radio, but it wouldn't turn off. He pulled the plug. The voice kept coming, now whispering, no longer crying, now laughing. Axel says, that laugh was not human. Alone on that mountain road in the middle of the night, I realized I was not alone on that Canadian highway. He took the next exit. He didn't go any further that night.
Let's pause here for a second. Are you alone right now, listening at night? Then look around you. Everything okay? Because these stories aren't over. Luca and Thomas are still coming, and their stories, the 2 most terrifying nights in Canadian history, far worse than Cooper and Axel. Are you ready?
Luca is a veteran driver, 20 years on Canadian roads. He says, "I didn't believe in ghosts. Still don't know if I do. But what I saw, there is no explanation for it." He was driving through the vast Alberta prairie, cold night, clear sky, northern lights glowing above, and on the side of the road, a little girl, alone, just standing there.
Luca stopped the truck. The girl looked about 8 or 9 years old, white dress, bare feet, in -15-degree weather. Luca rolled down his window. He asked, "Are you okay? Where do you live?" The girl didn't answer, just stared at him, then slowly said, "Will you take me home?" Luca reached for the door handle, but that's when he noticed there were no footprints in the snow beneath her feet.
The northern lights lit everything up clearly that night. Tire tracks in the snow, Luca's own boot prints. But the girl, nothing. The snow completely untouched beneath her. Luca says, "My whole body froze. I shut the door, and she smiled. That smile had too many teeth. Way too many teeth." Luca started the truck, but the girl wouldn't move, standing right in front of it, still smiling. Nothing but darkness all around on that empty Alberta road. Luca hit the horn. She didn't move. Then Luca closed his eyes and pressed the gas. No impact. He looked back. The road was completely empty. No girl, no footprints, like she was never there at all.
Thomas's story is saved for last for one reason. It's the most terrifying. Not just terrifying, there is actual proof. Something was captured on Thomas's dashcam, and after his wife watched that footage, she never let him drive at night again. A remote highway in Quebec, dense forest on every side, 4 a.m.
Thomas suddenly felt like someone was in the back of his truck, in the cargo section, but it was locked. He had locked it himself before leaving Quebec City. He stopped the truck, walked to the back, opened the door. Nobody inside. But even in Quebec's freezing winter, the inside was colder, impossibly colder, and on the walls, scratch marks. Someone had clawed from the inside.
Thomas got home and reviewed the dashcam footage. At 3:47 a.m., something walked across the top of the truck, human-shaped, but moving on all fours, face down, head hanging low. There in the darkness beside Quebec's thick forest, it crawled from the roof to the front and dropped off. And at that exact moment, Thomas's engine had coughed for 60 seconds.
4 different nights: Ontario, British Columbia, Alberta, Quebec. 4 corners of Canada. 4 different men. But one thing was the same across all 4 stories. Every single one of them said, in that moment they felt like they were being watched. Not just watched, studied. Like something was trying to figure out whether these men were afraid. They were afraid, but they made it back alive. Every night, thousands of trucks roll across Canada's highways. Millions of kilometers of frozen, dark road. Forest, mountains, prairie. And what lives in that darkness, nobody knows. Cooper, Axel, Luca, Thomas, they were brave enough to speak. But there are others who never said a word. Drivers who stopped their trucks somewhere on a Canadian highway and never came back. Their stories will never be told.
You've heard all 4 stories tonight. Now look outside. Does Canada's night feel a little colder than usual? Does any shadow look a little too long? Is there a footprint in the snow that isn't yours? Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's just the night. But the next time you're on a dark Canadian highway and something catches your eye, remember Cooper. Don't stop the truck.